Now to new developments. A Huntington man's been being held without bail after allegedly stabbing someone at a Westfield barbershop back in November. 48-year-old Jose Alvarado had his right to bail revoked after being deemed dangerous by a judge last week. He's facing charges for attempted murder and assault after walking into the Gaslight Barbers on Elm Street and stabbing someone several times before then driving away. Authorities say Alvarado knew the victim, who managed to survive the attack despite significant blood loss. Alvarado, meantime, will be back in court for his pretrial hearing on February 6th.